Your boiler and your hot water cylinder may be situated in different locations depending on the layout of your home. To check the boiler is turned on, check the switch nearby. If the screen displays that the boiler is off, then press the fault clearance key. The display on the boiler shows what the water and heating temperatures are set at and will show any error codes if there is an issue with the boiler. For a list of these error messages and status codes and what they mean, refer to your user manual. To set your hot water, press the left button and adjust to the desired temperature using the plus and minus buttons, or set to off by repeatedly pressing the left button. You can then press the right button underneath the tick to confirm, and the left button to go back. To set your heating, press the right button and adjust to the desired temperature in the same way using the plus and minus buttons, then the right button under the tick to confirm. You can only adjust your heating to the maximum temperature set by a competent person with an external controller. This is to avoid being scalded by hot water from the taps or through the radiators. You can also access the menu by pressing both of these buttons, and you can access the maintenance function by pressing both of these buttons. If the boiler appears to not be starting or providing you with hot water or heating, check there is power going to the unit, firstly with the switch and then on your consumer unit. Next, check underneath that the gas valve is turned on, then check the pressure on the pressure gauge. This should be set to around 1.5, and if it is too low, your boiler will not work. To repressurize this, turn the dial next to the gauge and the pressure will increase. Turn this off when it reaches 1.5 and your boiler should now be working. Please ensure you do not leave this valve turned on, as leaving it on could cause damage to the boiler. If you want to turn your boiler off, avoid turning it off at the switch and instead press the fault clearance key. The display will show off and the boiler will go into standby. This means the frost protection function will be activated, which means if the heating flow temperature falls below 5 degrees, the boiler will turn on and heat the circulating water to approximately 30 degrees on both the heating side and the hot water side. This helps protect against frost damage to your water pipes, but can't guarantee protection throughout the entire heating system. It is therefore always recommended that the heating programmer remains in operation and that all rooms still have sufficient heat in the event of frost, even when you are away. Your cylinder is located in the cupboard and should be labelled accordingly. As this has been set up to be automatic in normal use, you shouldn't need to adjust these valves or dials, but pay attention to any warning signs advising you not to touch or adjust. You can also look at the tun dish as a good visual representation of how the heating system is working. If the tun dish is dry and no water is dripping through it, then the system is working correctly. But if there is water dripping or rushing through it, there is a problem with the system and it requires inspection. You can turn off the water to the cylinder by turning the isolation valve here. This will only be necessary in an emergency situation or if a plumber needs to carry out maintenance or an inspection. Your cylinder also has an immersion heater, which acts as a large kettle and heats the water using electricity. This should only be used if the boiler is not working, or if you need an urgent boost due to high usage. For everyday use, you should ensure that your immersion switch is turned off unless absolutely necessary, as heating the water with electricity is much more expensive than heating with the gas boiler. If you do use this, you can adjust the temperature of the immersion heater using the thermostat here, which heats up the element here. We recommend keeping it at around 45 degrees, as the hotter you set this, the more costly it will be. Both your cylinder and boiler will require annual servicing, and you should employ a competent installer to perform this. You must also register your boiler within 30 days to validate your guarantee. Your serial number is located here. For more information relating to your boiler and cylinder, please refer to your user manuals.